So for this video, I've looked through the whole car inventory of Project Zomboid, and I must say, it did not satisfy me. Even the best truck struggles to go through a horde of zombies. They're also not all that safe. So, if you want to discover the best apocalypse survival vehicle in Project Zomboid, we're gonna have to do some shopping. So I have looked around the vehicle section of the Steam Workshop and have scraped together a couple of the best apocalypse survival vehicles I could find. And I'm going to compare these vehicles on a bunch of different categories to see which one is the absolute best. And I think our first vehicle here will be perfect to show how this system works. This Humvee seems in many aspects like the perfect zombie survival vehicle. It's strong, it's quite small, at least compared to the upcoming vehicles, and it already looks miles cooler than all the boring normal vehicles you usually drive in the game. And whilst this might be on the smaller side on the scale of one to monster truck, for a car that's still sorta sized like a car, it has so much storage, which is coincidentally the first category I'm going to rate the cars on. And whilst the outside of the car already has more space than most normal cars, if we climb on inside, we can see that here the real shit begins. Look at this! It's so much! Altogether, the car has 307 units of storage. That's enough for 1,023 loaves of bread, or 439 bottles of bourbon. Now, I'll rate this on a scale of 0 to 2. I'll judge the vehicles on 5 categories, so in the end, we'll get the 0 to 10 rating you all know and love. And whilst 307 is not a lot in the grand scheme of things, I think, seeing the size of this car, it warrants a point. Next category is crash survivability. Honestly, from all things, horrendous driving skill is probably my #1 cause of losing my car, and subsequently my life in Project Zomboid. So now, the question is, can this, for some reason 100% but also not 100% health Humvee, survive a crash against this wall at full speed? Well, only one way to find out. Apparently, like a fucking champ. That deserves 2 points. The next categories are kinda linked together. The zombie survival and zombie killing abilities. First, I'll place down a small horde of 200 zombies to simulate your average oh fuck, I'm boned scenario. This is all to see whether the car can withstand this without suffering any major damage. After a good minute of banging, as you can see, the car took some minor chips to the paint, but once the zombies got through that, there was nothing but cold, hard steel. So that's 2 points. And now for category 4, zombie killing. First, let's get out of this horde. Okay, we can handle that. That's already half of the points in the bag. But can it also instantly squash one of these bad boys? Okay, maybe that's just a little too much. So 1 point it is. Then on to the 5th and final category, maneuverability. For this, I have set myself a path through this mall filled with a bunch of angry zombies and very annoying in-the-way pillars to see whether it's possible to get out of some sticky and difficult to navigate situation. Under 2 minutes is 1 point, under 1 minute is worth 2. And go! Oh, the beast is fast. This beast is fast. This beast is fucking stuck in a horde of zombies. Close. But that's a big fat 0. So all in all, that's 6 points for the Humvee. Not bad for a start, but I think we can definitely do better. So I thought, what can be better than a small, somewhat armored vehicle? Well, of course, a way bigger and way more armored vehicle. Everybody, this is the Oshkosh military trailer. And whilst looking like you can hide an entire house inside, it apparently only has room for 435 units of storage, which is way less than I would have thought, seeing the, well, shift in size. But seeing I did give the other one 1 point, I guess I'll do the same for Mr. Disappointing over here. At least, it does not take much damage when driven face first into a wall. Also, in the Get Overrun by Zombie speedrun, it did fantastic by, not letting the occupants die. It's also splendid at driving over people, so it gets full points there as well. But unsurprisingly, when I went over to the mall, the gigantic, hard to maneuver, slightly underpowered monster of a truck did not make it through. Still, overall, it's done better than its predecessor, with a score of 7 out of 10. Now, for this next vehicle, I've found something a bit less conventional for a zombie survival vehicle. And that's a little something called the Super Dozer. Despite how precarious it might look, and the fact there's about just enough room to fit your fat ass inside, what the Killdozer lacks in amenities and overall usability, it makes up for in sheer sturdiness, a surprising amount of survivability, and willpower to crush every single zombie that comes in its path. It even had the chutzpah to be the first vehicle to make it through the mall in a reasonable amount of time. Granted, it took 1.5 minutes, and the ride could have gone, smoother. Overall, the dozer is not bad if you know what to use it for. Except for the little fact that it makes my game lag like crazy for some reason. And then we come to the surprise. There's an extra mechanic I did not yet tell you about. It's sort of a 6th category, reserved for special things that deserve extra points. And ooh, this plow certainly deserves an extra point. Look at it tear through this forest. So you get a 7. Next up, we have a motherfucking tank. And yes, this is the tank I showed off in an earlier video, but it's so awesome I have to put it in this one as well. Starting with the weakest part, the storage. Don't get me wrong, it's still pretty decent with 325 units, which is surprisingly high for a tank. Next to that, of course, the thing is basically invincible both to driving into walls and being clawed at by zombies. Only weird thing is, it does keep taking damage for some reason, which is something the previous armored vehicles did not do. In the mall, despite being huge, the Tiger performed the best so far, with a time of 1 minute and 20 seconds. And finally, this thing has something no vehicle has had up until this point. Actual functioning weaponry. It has a cannon and a machine gun, both extremely deadly, as you can see in this footage from a few months back, which I'm using because I couldn't figure out how to work the weaponry again. Plus 2 points, for a total of 9. What vehicle could ever be better than a fully functioning battle tank? Well, I didn't know this, but apparently they make functioning helicopters for Project Zomboid. How would this thing even work? Interesting. Despite the general coolness of a helicopter in Project Zomboid, it's somehow only got 117 units of storage for the whole gigantic thing. And whilst the flying mechanic makes it so you cannot crash into things, and you can't even crash land it once you're on the ground, it's a bit fragile. And well, it can't kill zombies at all. It can, however, funnily punch them around, so I guess that's something. It's also the ultimate maneuverability machine, because you know, it doesn't run into shit, however hard you try. And also, it's a fucking helicopter in Project Zomboid. I mean, that deserves extra points, right? So with those, that makes for a 7 out of 10 for the heli. Well, now we definitely can't top that, right? Well, just hold on to your horses, cause look what I found in the depths of the dungeon that is the Steam Workshop. A fully functioning PLP-50. Look at the power and maneuverability. It also has very good brakes. This ultimate zombie slaying machine comes delivered to you with a whole 3 units worth of storage to store all the apocalypse office supplies you need. And as you can expect for a real zombie killing machine, it's nearly indestructible. Only thing is the windows. They might need a minor upgrade in future models, but further it's completely indestructible. It is, however, about as light as a zombie, so good luck running over zombies with it. But what the peel lacks in crushing power, it surely makes up for in maneuverability. Look at it go, and the PLP-50 might not be the absolute best survival vehicle for the apocalypse. But bruh, it's the PLP-50. I'll help you out, buddy. You deserve 5 points. Oh, and then I found one more little thing. This vehicle. And it just blows everything, and I'm sorry to say this, but even the peel out of the water. It's the Doomsday armored Motorhome. It's made for this video. It's got everything from a ridiculous amount of storage to an impenetrable forehead to an impenetrable everything, plus it's got a giant battle ram at the front that just shreds through zombies. They stand no chance. It even destroys non-physical things like the mall run record of 1 minute and 20 with a time of just 50 seconds. I was even gonna give it an extra point for how nicely it just plows through zombies, but seeing as my skill doesn't go higher than 10, I think I'll have to hand out the first ever 10 plus. So there you have it, the very best zombie apocalypse survival vehicle I could find for Project Zomboid. I hope you enjoyed this little list. Maybe it's given you like some cool new vehicle ideas to check out for your own playthroughs. If it did, hopefully see you next week. Either way, thank you for watching. Bye bye!